graad 8, ons is nog steeds besig met eenheid 11, tema 11, theme 11. We're still busy with that. Tweedimensionele figure. Nou gister het ons driehoeke gedoen, of die vorige keer het ons driehoeke gedoen. The previous time we did triangles. So you need to know all the types of triangles. Klassifisering volgens sye, klassifisering volgens hoeke. Classification of a triangle according to the sides and according to the angles. You can do both, or just specifically if I ask for the angles, according to the angles. Ek kan vir jou afvra om te klassifiseer volgens sye en hoeke, of net volgens sye of net volgens hoeke. Dan kom ons nou by ander 4 hoeke. Now, in your handbook, and I want you guys, I don't have the English book with me, so I need you to go and check on which page this is. We are in theme 11, but this is where the second unit is inside of there. Dit sê eenheid 1 en dan sê dit eenheid 2 vir die Afrikaanse kinders op bladsy 134. It says unit 2 on the Afrikaans one on page 134. So it couldn't be very far from there. But this is what it looks like if you are looking for the correct page. Because there it gives you the properties of the quadrilaterals, and basically it's just to know what a quadrilateral is, which one it is. Now quadrilateral means 4 sides, 4 angles. Vierhoek, 4 sye, 4 hoeke. Nou, dit beteken 'n vierkant is 'n vierhoek. Dit beteken 'n reghoek is 'n vierhoek wat het 4 hoeke en 4 sye. It means that a parallelogram is a quadrilateral because it's got 4 sides and 4 angles. So under the name quadrilateral comes all of these 4-sided figures. So all of these are 4-sided figures, which means I have and now I hope you paused it and you got to this page. Want nou as jy by hierdie bladsy is, kan jy weet wat ek van praat. As ek praat van 'n vierkant en 'n ruit, dis mos 4 hoeke. A square and a rhombus are both quadrilaterals. They are equal sides. Then we know that the opposite sides are also equal to each other in certain of the others, like a rectangle, soos 'n reghoek, a parallelogram and a parallelogram as well. But also in a square, although in a square all the sides are equal, still opposite sides are equal. Alhoewel dit binne in 'n ruit teenoorstaande sye gelyk is, dit is ook al die sye gelyk, maar nog steeds is teenoorstaande sye gelyk aan mekaar. So ons gaan byvoorbeeld vir jou 'n vraagstelletjie vra waar en vals die teenoorstaande sye van 'n trapezium is gelyk. En dan gaan jy vir my sê dis onwaar. If I say that the opposite sides of a trapezium are equal, you're going to say it's false because it's only one pair of opposite sides that are equal to each other. All the angles are 90 degrees in a parallelogram, false. Al die hoeke is 90 grade in 'n parallelogram, gaan jy vir my sê dis false. So dis basies waarop ons wil weet jy daarom wat is 'n reghoek en weet jy wat is sy eienskappe volgens wat op hierdie bladsy staan. Dan is daar 'n paar ander, maar daaroor sal ons weer praat as ons mekaar sien. So we just need you to basically know what you did in grade 7. Al die eienskappe wat jy geleer het van reghoeke, vierkante, vleers, trapeziums, all the properties of a square and a rhombus and a rectangle and a parallelogram and a trapezium, all of that we expect you to know still. So we're not going over that again. It's in your textbook and we don't have to look at them specifically. But know your properties of all your quadrilaterals. Weet dat in 'n reghoek is die teenoorstaande sy gelyk en ewewydig en al die hoeke is 90. Know that in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal, opposite sides are also parallel, and all the angles are 90 degrees. All the properties that you learned in primary school. Goed, dan gaan ek vandag met jou doen die kongruensie en gelykvormigheid. What we're doing today is congruency and similarity. Congruensie het ek op die bord geskryf. There's the Afrikaans piece, there's the English piece. Congruensie, the best way to explain to you congruent figures, because it doesn't have to always be triangles. It can be any figure. Dit kan 'n pentagon. It can be a pentagon and another pentagon that are congruent to each other. It can be any figure. As long as when I take these two figures, 3-sided figures, triangles, 4-sided figures, quadrilaterals, of dit nou 4 hoeke, 5 hoeke, 6 hoeke is. If it's two of the same type of things, hexagons, and I put them on top of each other and they fit exactly. Dis soos 'n tweeling, it's like a pair of twins. Exact twins. As ek hulle presies op mekaar kan sit, dan is hulle congruent. Congruency means it's like twins that are exactly the same. They fit on top of each other exactly. Which means all the sides are equal. If it's two four-sided figures, let's say two parallelograms, if they fit on each other exactly, it means all the sides will be equal and all the angles will also be equal. As hulle op mekaar kan pas, beteken dit hulle is congruent, want al die sye en al die hoeke is presies dieselfde. So in other words, very important, all the sides are exactly equal and all the angles are exactly equal. Congruent figures, whether it's a 5-sided figure or a 10-sided figure or a 4-sided figure, are congruent if all the sides are equal and all the angles are also equal to each other. So this is a definition. So can I ask you in a test, when are two figures congruent? Then I want you to say if all the sides are equal for a mark and all the angles are equal for another mark. Ek kan vir jou 'n definisie vra vir congruensie. A definition doesn't have to be word for word. The idea behind the definition is all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal. There's your 2 marks. Give me a definition for congruency. Two figures are congruent if all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal. Twee figure, wat se figure ook al, is congruent as al die sye presies gelyk is en al die hoeke presies gelyk is. Goed, dan het jy dit nou afgeskryf. Ek sê hier so, hulle pas presies op mekaar. Miskien kan jy hier byskryf soos 'n tweeling. Maybe you can write here like a pair of twins. They fit exactly on top of each other. Goed, dan die tweede ding wat ek vandag vir jou wil leer, behalwe vir congruensie, wat presies op mekaar pas, except for congruency, that means two figures are exactly the same, all the sides, all the angles. So there's always these two things, sides, angles. Daar's altyd hoeke ter sprake en sye. As alles gelyk is, al die hoeke, al die sye, congruent. Maar dan kry ons twee figure soos hierdie. You can see that these two figures aren't the same size. Hulle is nie dieselfde grootte nie. So in congruensie het hulle dieselfde grootte. Ja, so you can add that to your congruency just at the top. In other words, that will say they are twins. They have the same size. They fit exactly, they have the same size. Hierdie grootte is nie dieselfde nie. So they cannot be congruent. If they don't have the same size, they cannot be congruent, but they can be similar. Similar means that the angles are the same, so the shape is the same, but it's a big ball and a small ball. Do you see that two circles, two balls, whether it's a small little tennis ball or even a squash ball or even a marble or a big beach ball, all of them are, not, I always said congruent, similar because they have the same shape, right? But the shape is the same, but the size is not the same. Now, there's no angles in a ball. No, en as ek byvoorbeeld van 'n bal praat, en ek praat van 'n klein albastertjie en 'n klein muurbal-balletjie en 'n tennisballetjie en 'n sokkerbal en 'n wat kan ek 'n strandbal, een van daai groot strandballe, al daai vorms is dieselfde want dis 'n bal vorm. So daai vorms is almal gelykvormig. They are all similar. I can't speak about angles because in a circle is the angle. Jy kan mos nou nie van 'n hoek praat binne 'n sirkel nie, maar dis die idee van gelykvormigheid. As ek dan nou na 2D figure gaan kyk, plat figure, nie 3D soos 'n bal nie, not 3D like a ball but a flat figure. If I want to look at two triangles or two quadrilaterals of twee vierhoeke of twee vyfhoeke en ek wil weet of hulle gelykvormig is, dan is die groot bepalende faktor sy hoeke. Eerstens, twee figure is gelykvormig as hulle hoeke almal ewe groot, presies ewe groot is. The angles, the two figures are similar if all the angles are equal, firstly. Is al die hoeke dieselfde? Now, I didn't have to give you all of that because you know, and I know, from grade 7, that the sum of the angles of a triangle must add up to 180, and we're going to do that again this year. Jy en ek weet dat die binhoeke moet 180 wees. So maybe if I left out that, you should have been able to tell me, but 90 and 20 I'm short of 70 because it has to add up to 180. And maybe over here I left out the 20, so you had to say, 90 and 70 is 160, so I'm short 20 because they must add up to 180. But for an example, I'm giving you everything. So I can see the two figures. They look the same. They're not in the same place. I can swap them around a little bit to get them looking exactly the same, because this one's 90 degrees in the top right. This one's 90 at the bottom left. So dit is presies dieselfde gedraai nie. Hierdie een se regte hoek sit aan die regterkant bo en hier linkerkant onder. So that's not the issue. But if whether I flip them whichever side, they're not going to fit on top of each other. Hulle gaan nooit op mekaar pas en congruent wees nie. Maar hulle is gelykvormig. Now, first of all, whenever we do these sketches, I'm going to say they're not according to scale, because if you look at my scale, actually my sketch looks a little bit like this one is bigger than that one. My sketch op die bord lyk asof hierdie grade kleiner moet wees as daai ene. En dan gaan jy nooit vir my sê, nee, maar juffrou, daai ding is nie reg geteken. You can never tell a teacher you didn't draw it right, because we will always say all sketches are not according to scale. So if I say it's 70 and 20, then it is 70 and 20. If you go measure it, it won't be. So that's why we cover ourselves and say it's not according to scale. Ons maak onsself toe deur te sê, luister, hierdie skets is nie volgens skaal nie. Want dan gaan jy vir my sê, maar daai een lyk groter as daai ene. En onthou nou, al lyk dit nie so nie, dit is nog steeds 20 en 70. Maar die groot bepalende faktor is, die hoeke is ewe groot. So hoekom is hierdie gelykvormig? Een ding, die hoeke is dieselfde, but that's not enough. It's not enough to say that all the angles are the same. Die sye moet iets doen. Dit kan nie net enige sye wees nie. The sides have to do something else. Die sye moet in dieselfde verhouding tot mekaar wees. The sides, the ratios of the sides have to be the same. Nou, wat se ding is 'n verhouding? What is a ratio? So if I look at these sides, for instance, the 4 to the 5. Sien jy, dis 'n verhouding 4 tot 5. Ratio 4 to 5 can be written as 4 over 5. Jy weet dit al. Dat daai verhouding so geskryf kan word, ons het dit by verhouding in koers genoem. When we did ratio and rate, we said a ratio can be written as a fraction. So daai verhouding van 4/5 moet daar dieselfde wees. Maar nou weet jy mos, kom ons kyk byvoorbeeld, jy sal nou moet raai wat een dink jy gaan dit wees. Dis die tweede grootste en die derde grootste ene. It's the second largest and the biggest one. So the second largest one and the biggest one, it should be the 16 and the 20. Stem mee saam. Is that the same ratio? As jy 16 op 20 gaan skryf, is dit nog steeds 4/5? Yes, it is also 4 over 5. And if you wanted to keep it there and write 4.5, jy kon dit ook gedoen het. Maar die beginsel is, die verhoudings is dieselfde. The ratios are the same. They are not the same length. Hulle is nie dieselfde lengte nie, maar die verhoudings van die sye is dieselfde. Dan praat ons van gelykvormigheid. So if I wanted to know, is hierdie twee driehoeke, gelykvormig? Are these two triangles, are the triangles similar? Let's say that's our question, we just decided. Then you have to show me that if you look at the ratios, and the ratios are the same, en die hoeke is almal gelyk, and the angles are all equal, then what do we know? Those two triangles are similar. En nou is daar 'n belangrike dingetjie. As ek wil praat van driehoek A, B, C and the other triangle, then we don't call it alphabetically, but we call it in the same ratio that they are similar to. And that's where we go and say, well, A was 20 degrees, the first one I said, B was the 91 and C was the 71. So I also want this to be 20, 90, 70. You're not going to write that. So if I have to go 20, 97, oh, I wrote it wrong. I'm going to change it. F, E. So that you can see something. Otherwise it would have been alphabetical. As ek het so gelos het, was dit alfabeties en ek wil 'n punt maak. So, ek wil 20, 20, 90, 70. 20, 90, 70. 20, 90, 70 is D, F, E. D, F. Yeah, I wanted to make a point so that it doesn't look alphabetical. Doesn't matter how you shuffle it around. If it's alphabetical, then it is alphabetical, like it was. Maar het moet wees van 20 na 90 na 70, so this one also 20 to 90 to 70. Could I have said, let's make it B, C, A. What would the other one then be? If I scored this one B, C, A, 90, 70, 20, then it would be 90, 70, 20, F, E, D. That are similar to each other. En daar's 'n tekentjie wat ons gebruik vir gelykvormigheid. And the similarity sign are 3 parallel lines vertical. Sulke vertikale lyntjies. Dit noem ons gelykvormig. Gelykvormig beteken dit. Similar, the sign for similar are those 3 little lines. So if I wanted to say, ma'am, these 2 triangles are similar, then I have to call them in the correct order. You can call the first one whatever you like, ABC, BCA, CAB, whatever. But then the next one has to be in the same order as that one. So it was 20, 90, 70, 20, 90, 70. Or BCA was 90, 70, 20, 90, 70, 20. Kry jy die idee? Die goed moet presies dieselfde grootte hoeke hê, exactly the same size angle, equal angles, but the ratios have to also be equal. So if I gave you no sides, it wasn't enough. Hoeke is nie genoeg om te sê dis gelykvormig nie. Goed. Goed, soos ek vir jou gesê het, ons gaan vinnig hierdeur gaan. This is a whole theme. The whole theme 11 yesterday or the day before was triangles, and now we're busy with the quads. And in the quads, after the quads, we've done similarity and congruency. Waar gaan gelykvormigheid en kongruensie wees? Of dit nou 'n driehoek, vierhoek, vyfhoek is, maak nie saak nie. Congruency and similarity, whether it's a triangle, quad, 5-sided figures, 6-sided figures, it doesn't matter. So ek het nou met jou 'n driehoek gedoen, let's do a quadrilateral. And remember in English we can talk about a quad. Reg? Reg. In 'n vierhoek wil ek weet of dit gelykvormig is of nie. Wat is die reël? Wat gaan juffrou vir jou vra vir die definisie? If I ask you the definition for similarity, wat gaan similarity, gelykvormigheid se definisie wees? Similarity, all the sides are equal. Is all these, all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal. Are all the angles equal to each other? Ja. Could I have left out one? En jy moet dit self uitwerk. Ja, want die binnehoeke van 'n vierhoek gaan hoeveel wees? Dis 360. Did you know that the sum of the interior angles of a quad is 360? Because if the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180, and I've got like, say, let's say 60 and 60 and 60 makes it nice and easy. But if I then make a quad, and I say that this is 100, and 40 and 40, because that makes 180, right? Hoeveel gaan dit dan vir my gee vir die binnehoeke van 'n vierhoek? How much will that then give me for the sum of the interior angles of a quad? Whenever you think about it, any figure can be broken up into triangles. 180, 180, 180, al die binnehoeke. So as ek al hierdie binnehoeke bymekaar sou tel, it's 3 times 180. As jy die binnehoeke van daai goed al bymekaar tel, is dit 3 keer 180. So as jy enige ding teken en jy wil weet hoeveel grade is alles, kan jy net kyk, and the previous time I did another one, now I'm going to show you something else. Couldn't I have done that? Enige driehoeke wat jy daar uit kan teken. 180, 180, 180. Dis nou net sommer so 'n bietjie ekstra informasie, just a little bit of extra information. So, as ek nou vir jou gesê het, hier 180 en 60, dan short ek mos hier 120. If I didn't give you that, because you should know that the sum of the interior angles of a quad is 360. Jy moet weet die binnehoeke van 'n viersydige figuur, 'n vierhoek, is 360. Is hierdie dan nou gelykvormig? Hoe sal ons dit dan sê? Ons gaan sê dat al die hoeke is gelyk, all the angles are equal. This would be for an exam paper, because you then could say A equals H, B equals G, C equals E, D equals, where am I now? Those two are equal, D and E, F and C, G and B, A and H. As jy dit so wou geskryf het. Maar for now, the principle for you grade 8s is just to say, I can see all the angles are equal. Vir jou graad 8, ek wil net sien jy moet weet al die hoeke is gelyk. Al die hoeke is ewe groot. Ewe groot of gelyk? No problem. Equal, same size, it's fine. But, dan is dit nie genoeg om te sê dis gelykvormig nie. Ek moet kyk na die verhoudings van die sye. So you need to look at the sides, that they are in proportion. So if I look at these sides, say for instance these two, that if I have a look at this, 10, 20, 30, 40, these are the shortest two. Waar is die kortste twee hierso van mekaar? Op hierdie twee, sien jy dit? The shortest two. Is 10 to 20 and 15 to 30 the same ratio? Is dit dieselfde verhouding? Of kom ons sê 20 tot 10, 30 tot 15, because whether I look at 10 to 20 or 20 to 10, just do the same on that side. So as jy sien, AB tot BC is 10 tot 20, wat 1 tot 2 is. Nou skryf ek dit anders. Now I'm writing it different. Yes, because we have options in maths. I'm not writing it as a fraction now, because I can. En ek gaan kyk na dieselfde een aan die ander kant. As ek hier gaan kyk na HG tot GF, if I look at those two, the ratio is 15 to 30, which is also 1 to 2. Meaning, look at it, it's the same thing. And the same here, if you look at, for instance, the 30 to the 40. The third largest one, eerste, tweede, derde, vierde grootste, and the third largest to the largest. Where's the third largest to the largest? 30 to 40 is the same as 45 to 60. Nou kom ons sê dit mooier, AD, oepsie, that's a mess, AD to DC is the same as HE to EF. Now if you as a grade 8 didn't write all of this, but just showed me, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to, or 3 to 4 there, and 3 to 4 there, it's fine. But wat gaan hierdie nou wees? Not 1 to 2, but there it's 3 to 4. And if you divide by 15 and divide by 15, does it work? 3 tot 4, en ek het ons geleer, you can put this as a fraction inside your calculator as 45 at the top and 60 at the bottom, and it gives you 3 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Wat jy kan sien dis gelyk aan mekaar. So wat sê hierdie vir my? What does this mean to me? That except for the first fact, that all the angles are equal, the second fact is all the ratios of the sides are equal. Al die verhoudings van die sye is ook gelyk aan mekaar. Dis wat juffrou wil sien. That's what I want you to learn from this. Angles are exactly the same, but the ratios are in the same ratio. They're not the same. Well, mine almost looks the same size, but how can 10 and 15 be the same and 20 and whatever be exactly the same? They're not. Goed, so met ander woorde, as ek dit nou gaan skryf, dan sê ek vir myself, goed, if I know these two facts, fact 1, fact 2, dan sê dit vir my, dit wil sê, this is a word in mathematics, it sê, therefore, dit wil sê, hierdie goed is gelykvormig. How do I write similar? Similar, right? Similar. Hoekom is hulle gelykvormig aan mekaar, en watter sye is? So let's call that one alphabetical A, B, C, D. But then we can't call this one E, F, G, H alphabetically. E, F, G al alfabeties. En jy moet nou gaan kyk. A was 120. Where's the 121 here? It's H. B was 100. So I must go to G, which is 100. C was 80. Dit was F, wat 80 was. En dan obviously die laaste ene, D, was 60, so dit moet EF. So it's not EFGH. It's the other way around. It could have been any order, it doesn't matter. dis dan gelykvormig. Why? Two reasons. Reason one, all the angles. Reason two, the sides are in the same ratio, which we call they are in proportion. Daar's baie terminologie so wat jy nog nie as 'n graad 8 kind vreeslik oor hoef te postres nie. Ek wil by jou weet, hoekom is hulle gelykvormig? Want al die hoeke is gelyk en die sye is in dieselfde verhouding. Nou mense, ek gaan volgende keer met jou aangaan met nuwe werk. I'm going to start with new theme number 12, tema 12 volgende keer. Nou voel dit vir jou, wow, dit is nou baie vinnig. Ja, dis wat ons in graad 8 wil hê jy moet weet. Wat is die verskil tussen congruent, gelykvormig? What is the difference between congruent and similar? That's what we want to know. Do you know? Congruent, hoe fit hulle presies op mekaar? All the angles are exactly the same and all the sides are exactly the same. Al die sye is gelyk, al die hoeke is gelyk. Twins, congruent. When are they similar? Wanneer is hulle dan nou gelykvormig? Die hoeke moet presies dieselfde wees. The angles exactly the same. Whether it's a triangle, quad, vyfsydige ding teen 'n vyfsydige ding, doesn't matter. Can a five-sided figure and a triangle be similar? Never. Gelykvormig kan ons net 2 vyfhoeke of 2 seshoeke of 2 driehoeke wees. You can't have a triangle and a quad be similar. Reg. So as ek 2 figure het en hulle is presies dieselfde hoeke, maar die sye is in verhouding dieselfde. Die een kan so klein dingetjie wees, driehoekie, een kan so groot driehoek wees. Doesn't matter the size doesn't have to be the same. If the size is the same, congruent. Reg, maar gelykvormig is die hoeke dieselfde en die sye is in dieselfde verhouding. Angles the same and the sides in the same proportion. The ratios are equal, the ratios are in a proportion. If the ratios are the same, then they are similar. Goed, daar's nie huiswerk vir jou nie. Nou homework. Yay!